Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going through the Collingwood versus Hawthorn game, going through how it's going well. Nick Daicos didn't get really tagged as much. You'll see the tag get released, I think, in the scoring breakdowns. And then you'll also see how D'Ambrosio, this is the second time recording this intro, but yeah, if you take into account his TOG, which was 82, 83, 82 in the other games, and it was 65% in this game, as he had like 13 minutes on the bench at one point, and you take his 55 score and you make it into the 82% TOG or whatever, that gets him up to a 69.3, and then you also think about the fact that he wasn't used much on his wing when he was actually out there. You could think that almost turns himself into an 80 score on the regular. So yes, that's combining a lot of factors, but that is sort of the reasoning why I'm not too worried about D'Ambrosio at the moment. And I have a plan almost D'Ambrosio and a rookie up to in Seth Campbell, as D'Ambrosio is 590k. Nick Daicos is 907 or something K, and his break even is basically restored. I believe Daicos, even though he doesn't have a break even this week. A 130 break even, I'm not too worried about that if I can make the maneuver to get him in next week. He does have Port Adelaide, but Port have been actually pretty receptive to midfielders, I'm pretty sure. Essendon, they allowed Merritt to go off the hook. If we just quickly check this last round, they allowed Merritt to go off, Jai Caldwell to go off, Dersma to go off, Heppel went off as well. So it just shows you that they do allow the Merritt. Why wouldn't you tag him? So yeah, I do think that Daicos could go off, especially with potentially Scott Pendlebury out. I think they'll look for Daicos more. So I reckon that he is almost a buy next after the buy anyway. So let's quickly get into this video, but before we do, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So basically what I was talking about in that intro was Nick Daicos is now 907k or whatever, 905k. And basically I was just looking at this and I was going through and I quickly clicked on to Essendon, and this is how I found all those. And then we go to average, and you've obviously got Setterfield there, etc. But you've got last round, you've got Merritt, Caldwell went off as well. Dersma, Heppel, Kelly, Setterfield, and 80 isn't really going off. They even allow Hobbs to score well. So yeah, I'm looking at that and thinking that Nick Daicos is probably still a buy even after his buy. Even though he's got a 130 break even, I believe. So yeah, I'm looking at that, and that break even, I don't know whether that'll go up or not. I think it may go up to like 131, 132 after his buy, but he's 907k. I think he's starting to get there and starting to get to the point where I think you can buy him, and I think his lows are out of it. To go at 135, he did really well, 39, 39, 25, 32, and I think you may even look at, they may even go to Port Adelaide. Port may even go and think, oh yeah, we got to tag De Goey out of the game rather than the likes of, with Willem Drew, rather than the likes of a Daicos. So yeah, he did really well, De Goey, and ended up kicking a one goal one or something like that. So yeah, he did really well, 30 odd touches I would suspect. Tom Mitchell as well, 110, he did really well, 38, 28, 30, 14, he's back, and yeah, it just showed that Tom Mitchell, when he was injured or whatnot, and got managed against, I think, was the Swans or whatever in round 2. He got managed in round 1 or whatever, then played round 2. He's sort of shown that he can score. Yeah, De Goey, 31 touches, 6 marks, 7 tackles. So he's an impact player, so he's going to have bad games, and that's why his average is so low. So I wouldn't ever grab him, I don't think, at the moment. He is 662k, but I think he's just so destined to have either get tagged out of a game or just have a slow game in general, so I wouldn't grab him. Daicos, 110. Darcy Cameron, 109. He did really well as well, just showing that as a ruckman you can score well, even though Meek scored, what did he score? Sorry, was it Meek that they played? Yeah, Meek scored an 89, so he did well, but Darcy Cameron, yeah, he scored really well. Daicos, 95, I think, even last quarter, even though they, I think, released the tag or whatnot, maybe they reapplied it. You can just see he runs riot in games like this, and yeah, kicked a goal, got really well, and I just think you got to, this week obviously has the bye, and next week I can just cover off his score by just picking him up. And at 907k, I don't think he's going to get much cheaper. So I think that is almost the decision, unless something else pops up, that I can just go D'Ambrosio up to him next week, unless D'Ambrosio goes really well. And that's just through Campbell, who most likely will be, he's 390k, but has West Coast, where he could pop out a big score, get another 40k, be 430k. So it'll be 220k plus most likely 143k in the bank, plus a most likely a 500 odd k from someone else. If Williams, it'll be basically whoever scores worse out of Williams or D'Ambrosio that I'll go up with to get to Dacos, and that'll be the way that I do it. I don't even need to combine the likes of a Williams and also D'Ambrosio to get there. So I'm pretty happy about that. Noble 87. So yeah, Dacos, I think he's tracking well, and I think you can sort of see him developing and getting better. So or getting back to form. So I think that it's right there now to go for him. How Chris, Schultz, Hoskin Elliott, Myercheck, Quaynor, side bottom came on in the, was it halftime or whatever? Yeah, halftime I reckon. And so yeah, happy about I'm happy about the Dacos now that it is Pendlebury surely is injured if he came out at halftime. Hoskin Elliott, Myercheck, Quaynor, side bottom, Cox, Lipinski, Elliott, Frampton, McInnes as well, a 37, so just showing he cannot really score, so not fancy relevant. Moore, McCreary, Pendlebury, and Hill. Then we go over to Hawthorn, Amon 113, so showing that role is definitely there off half back. 758k, he just hasn't been consistent enough to pick him. And here comes Newcomb. He's going to do it, right? He's going to do it. You can just tell he's going to do it. What did he score last week, Newcomb? He has now averaged 76. Scored 79 last week, 98 this week. And what's he going to... I can tell you right now, you know what he's going to do. He's going to go 110, 110, 110, and everyone's going to go, nah, you just never again list. This is exactly what... It's almost like it's scripted to do this after everyone jumps off of Newcomb, that he just goes and scores really well, as he's down at 6.8% owned. So it's almost scripted, like it's got to happen, that he's going to pick up his game again. Meek 89, Scrimshaw 89, Sicily 85, and he is dropping in price massively. So yeah, I'm looking at Sicily and thinking, after the buys, he may be somewhere around that 750 to 800k. And you may get him when he gets his defensive accountability taken away from him when the key defenders return. Especially when you don't have the Numpty and Frost and stuff like that. I reckon he could be a massive buy. So yeah, I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting with Sicily and just hoping that he becomes a buy. So yeah, I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking that could be a really good buy after the second set of buys, the mid-season ones. Hardwick 83, Impey 83, Warport 76. Much like DeGoey, can go and have those like 140 plus games, but then can have these 60 to 70 games that you're like, what have you even done? He came off was it a 152 or a 149 last week, and he scored 24 in the first. And then just decided, I'm not going to bother playing for the rest of the game. Moore 74, Nash scored a 70, but he butchered the ball. As just looking at the stats, Ginnivan 65 against his former side, kicked 2 goals in it, so did all right. But yeah, McGuinness did nothing in the last. I think he went back to a tagging role in the last, and that's why he did nothing. So I think that's what lines up, is that they released the tag in the second and the third because McGuinness was scoring actually really well just alone. And then in the fourth, they reapplied it, and it seems like it stopped. But I didn't watch this game, so I wouldn't know. I'm just going off what I've sort of heard about, that the tag wasn't there the whole game. Ramsden actually did pretty well as a forward. He's probably not going to apply for ruck status, I wouldn't think. As I think he's only played, one game now? Is it 1 game or 2 games that he played? He's played 1 game for a 60 as a forward. 3 hit-outs, a goal, so I don't think we'll get ruck status, to be honest with you, as he wasn't in the ruck too much. Ward, D'Ambrosio, as we talked about, yeah, just nothing in the first. If he had scored better in the first, when it wasn't on his wing, if he scored better and scored like a 20 or whatnot in the first, you're looking at that and you're thinking, Oh, he scored a 71 on limited tog. That's not too bad. So yeah, it's just as simple as that, that there were so many different factors that made his score limiting that I reckon that it's absolutely fine for him to hold on to him as a 68 break even. I'm not too worried about that. Mackenzie, 54. I really had high hopes for him. I still think he's going to be a really good footballer, but he's just not turning it out and didn't do anything in the last quarter. So yeah, he's a bit annoying, and I don't own him, but I'm sort of frustrated for the people that do own him, as he was one that was on my watch list, and I really thought he was going to improve. But like we said throughout preseason, etc., and I still go on about this, natural improvement is the hardest thing to pick, and I think with Mackenzie, he really hasn't had much of a role change from what I remember. So his natural improvement hasn't really done anything. So I reckon he just needs that full-on ball role to really improve. Frost, Weddle, Mitchell, Chol, McDonald as well, another guy that I thought would really do well, and he just hasn't had the role as well, and natural improvement is so hard to pick. So yeah, really disappointed about those two, as I thought they were... McDonald at one point was my F1 in preseason. So yeah, just really annoyed. Butler, and then Huswaite is one that is really getting his... he's coming back to earth, I guess, Huswaite. So next year, hopefully... He averages 22.5 now. So hopefully next year he can have a couple more sub games as well, just to build up that average of, if you can have 3 or 4 sub games where you really don't score well, then it can build up almost a 10 to 15 point gap on your actual perceived average. And that can really help for next year. But that's sort of what I'm looking at with Huswaite. And that's sort of what you look at with most of the subs anyway, is like similar with Finlay Macrae. If he moves to another side and gets full on-ball like time as a midfield rookie, he's going to be so good, like a Sharp was this year, when they just actually get time. So yeah, I'm really looking at Huswaite and also Macrae next year. Finlay Macrae, if they can just get their actual non-sub games, that'll be really good. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the team review, going through that, as well as the... What do we have next on Tuesday? I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, you'll have definitely team review on Tuesday, and maybe cash cows or something. I don't remember exactly what it is. But yeah, you'll get those videos out, and I'll see you guys for the video tomorrow. Anyway, bye guys.